We don't really like ourselves that much.
Every episode we do, my will to live gets sapped a little more, just a little bit more.
It's a little less and less.
Stefan, lead us in.
Welcome back to Sequel Decay, where our intros just keep getting better and better. My name is Stefan Salehio, and with me is Brandon Pollock.
Hello.
And Chris Ranta. Chris, I fucking hate you. Just say hi.
Oh, sorry. I had a dementia episode there. Hello.
And making his triumphant return from our Star Wars episode is special guest Corbin Stewart. Say hi, Corbin.
Hey, what are we doing here?
Oh, yeah. I forgot to mention.
Great to be back.
I found Corbin in my fucking suitcase when we moved to fucking New York.
Just stuffed in like the side pocket of it. Like, hey, how you doing? I've been here for 3 years.
Wait, is this a suitcase or a body bag?
It's a suitcase.
Today we are not actually reviewing any movies because fuck movies.
We are reviewing movies, you fucking idiot.
Well, okay, but we're not doing like a franchise. I should say we're not reviewing a franchise. I'm an idiot. Now,
yeah, you fucking nerd.
Welcome to Sequel Decay, where we scream simp at each other until Stefan kills himself.
That's so depressing.
Discerning listeners may recall that we did in Chris, I think it was October of last year. We did kind of a catch up of all the movies we had seen in that year, and we just kind of talked about them all in that episode.
Yeah, funny story about that. So Brandon bailed on us at the last minute for a Blair Witch episode that I told them I wasn't going to do a week in advance. So Stefan and I were panicking, going, "Oh fuck, what can we do?" And we only had a half an hour till we could record.
And then we opened up by talking about the Banana Splits movie for what felt like 3 hours. So it was a productive time had by all.
Good time had by all.
But anyway, we're doing the same thing this year, this time about halfway through the year, because I guess this will be coming out kind of end of June. So yeah, we have Corbin here, which has definitely boosted our amount of movies we're going to talk about. And
it's also boosted reviews.
Yeah.
Everyone just sit for Corbin.
Please, God.
Gas me up.
At first, I thought you were going to say thanks for gaslighting me.
Gaslight. Oh, bro.
We'll be talking about gaslighting later, guys.
Corbin, I've been meaning to ask this ever since I saw this on the list, but what the fuck is Butt Boy?
Yeah, word. I kind of saw that real quick and I was like, huh?
Oh my God. I had to review it for this guy I review movies for, and it was just so bad. It's about this guy who he develops an anal fixation, and then he just anything that he puts up in his butt goes to a warped dimension inside his ass, and it just gets stuck there forever. And it's so fucked up. He starts with he puts baby toys in it, and then he upgrades to putting children in his ass.
What the fuck?
No, we should not talk about Butt Boy.
Okay.
That sounds... Here comes Butt Boy to the rescue. Oh, and there go all the kids. Okay.
Oh my God.
Just sits on all of them.
Well, that sounds like the worst thing ever.
Sounds terrible.
Okay, so how we're gonna do this is like we're just gonna go around in a circle, I guess, and just talk about whatever movie comes to mind. Corbin, you're the guest of honor. Do you want to pick something and then we'll chat about it for a bit? So something, I don't know, somebody do something.
Yeah, sure. We can start with. I'm assuming all you guys saw The Invisible Man.
I did. I believe Chris did too.
I did not.
Well, at first I thought The Invisible Man was a sequel to the Pee Pee Poo Poo Man of sorts.
You mean the Bye Bye Man?
Yes, I heard he's also called that.
Pee Pee Poo Poo Man. You're like the main villain of a horror movie, and you like create this for this whole time creating this name, this background for yourself, and someone comes around, hey, it's Mr. Poo Poo Pee Pee Man.
I was like, fuck yes.
Fucking amazing.
Okay.
Actually, that movie really turned me on.
Oh.
Anyway, what did you guys think of Invisible Man?
Yeah. Serious thoughts, Corbin. Come on.
Serious. I thought Elizabeth Moss was the best part of the movie. I thought the plot itself was okay. The big twist in the end, I thought that Elizabeth Moss just carried the whole movie on her shoulders. Plus, it's one of those movies where you always go and the crowd is packed and it's a bunch of like screaming teenage girls who jump at every single jump scare, just start yelling. So I think it just makes the theater experience so much worse.
I just want to say outright, Corbin's been death glaring me as soon as he started talking about teenage girls.
That's a lie.
Because as we all know, Chris, you are a teenage girl.
I think we're saving that because I know the FBI is listening.
Based on Corbin's experience, I'm assuming this is a movie where my experiences greatly help by just watching it on YouTube.
Yeah, no, I watch it at home, so
yeah, I think it would be way better watching it at home.
Yeah,
in the theater.
It sounds like I liked it more than you, anyway. I think I basically agree that like Elizabeth Moss basically carries it. As for like the themes of itself, like it's clearly going for kind of like an allegory on abuse and the psychological effect that gaslighting can have on somebody. I think mostly it works, but like there are some parts where like, and I'm gonna kind of tiptoe around it, but like if somebody does say that, like, because she tells people that there's like an invisible person stalking her, and they're kind of presented as being wrong to be skeptical about that, whereas like obviously you should believe people who suffer abuse, but like if a person does say that like somebody's invisible and is stalking them, you're probably right to. It would probably be irresponsible to enable that. So I think at that point the allegory kind of doesn't work as smoothly as they would like, but mostly I think it was pretty good. Chris?
Okay, so I liked it more than both of you. Holy shit.
Okay, I wasn't expecting that. I did like it. I just like it's not one of my favorites of the year thus far. But anyway, yeah, Chris, go ahead.
So I watched it at home last night. I think the allegory works really well. I mean, if we start getting into the minutia of it, like, oh, well, she's saying there's an invisible man. I don't necessarily think that's the point.
No, I agree. That's not really the point. It's a nitpick on my part, but it's just something I observed.
But I'm basically with you guys that Elizabeth Moss carries the entire fucking movie. It's really well written too for a movie about a woman's struggles through dealing with an abusive relationship, just considering it's written by a man.
Lee Wanell, no less. Did Lee Wanell write it, or did he just direct it?
He wrote and directed it.
Okay.
And he also, Corbin, if you don't know this, and Stefan, if you don't know this, he wrote Saw and Insidious for James Wan.
Pleasantly surprised on that front that it turned out as well as it did, but
I'm not that shocked.
No, I meant like knowing that Lee Wanell's other movies are something things that don't appeal to me at all. Like I was expecting this to be pretty good going in.
Well, is that okay? So
I expected it to be bad before all the reviews came in, and it got so much praise, which shocked me honestly because it was a February horror release, which is like the dumpster release for Hollywood horror. So, well, Like, I liked the movie. I didn't love it, but I was surprised by it.
Wow, I'm really the only one that liked Saw. Holy shit.
Yeah, I'm not a Saw guy.
I don't think I've seen any of the Saw movies.
I refuse to watch them.
The first Saw movie is like a really, really good thriller. Like in the vein of like Seven.
The
They're
first
still
one,
making more.
yeah, the first one and Spiral, which is coming out next year now, I guess, are like the only ones I'd be like vaguely interested in watching. But like, yeah, no, I'm unless we do a Sequel Decay on, I'm probably not going to touch them.
Well, like I want to know if like you have to watch all how many movies are there before Spiral? It's like 4.
There's 8.
8 movies before Spiral. Yeah. See, I want to know if you have to watch all those 8 movies before Spiral. Like, I hope.
From what I'm gathering of the marketing for Spiral, I don't think so.
I hope not, man. Because like, I'm good at like watching like the first one and then going straight to Spiral. Like,
honestly, for anyone that hasn't gone into the Saw franchise yet, the only one I would recommend is the first one, because the sequels get more and more either A, convoluted, or B, stupid.
I just can't deal with like torture porn. It's just not my thing.
Yeah, same.
I'm gonna be the desensitized prick who says it. I don't think Saw is that gruesome. I think Hostel is more disgusting than Saw.
I would not watch Hostel.
Yeah, nor would I.
Hostel fucking vile. Like, there's no redeeming qualities to Hostel at all. But with Saw, the first one's really good, and the others are either kind of enjoyable or just flat out so bad it's good.
Imagine unironically liking Eli Roth.
Dude, fuck, right?
Outside of Inglourious Bastards.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, Inglourious Bastards.
God, remember when Eli Roth shot Hitler down with a Tommy gun in a movie theater?
That was his high point.
That was,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When he did the Jack Black movie, The House with the Clock on the Walls.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Eli Roth made a children's movie. That's right.
I remember that movie.
Any good or
it was okay.
I heard it was good.
It was all right. It wasn't like anything fantastic, but it was okay. Like, it had an okay premise, I guess.
Kate Blanchett's in that too. Imagine Eli Roth directing Kate Blanchett.
I'm kind of sad now. It's a really good sign that we were talking about Invisible Man, and then half of that time was spent talking about Eli Roth.
Anyway, back to the movie.
Yeah, it's weirdly enough, I kind of find myself at a loss for what else to say about it. I thought the whatever effects they used to convey like the Invisible Man were really cool.
Mm-hmm.
It was really well directed. I think at times it like was, at least for me, like it relied a bit too much on like, you know, jump scares. And I know there's a good time to use jump scares, but like I just don't like them generally because I don't like having my adrenaline spike.
Okay. And I guess this is wrong because there's like maybe 2 or 3 jump scares.
There's 2 or 3, but they're very conventional ones.
And I think they work because of how they're placed. Like you said, like there's a time and place for jump scares. And I think they work really well in this.
The jump scare that does work in it is when she's in the attic.
Yes, that one's cool. That one's cool.
That one's really great.
That's a good scene.
So I'm assuming all 3 of us recommend it at least somewhat.
Yeah, I would recommend it.
Yeah, I will. Maybe I'll check it out later.
This is also serving as us just basically recommending movies to Brandon.
Man, a lot of the podcast, dude.
Yeah.
Welcome to Boys Roast Brandon for 3 hours.
No, so your average day, you know.
I will say before we move on though, if you're gonna watch The Invisible Man, I highly recommend pairing it up with Steven Soderbergh's movie Unsane from a few years ago, because that movie also deals with not so much an abusive relationship, but someone trying to get away from a stalker and also being gaslit in a very similar way. Mm-hmm. And both do a wonderful job at getting that point across. So I highly recommend both.
Soderbergh's the cool.
Soderbergh's king. God bless him. That man fucking turns my crank every time I watch one of his movies.
He can direct the shit out of anything.
He could direct my colonoscopy and make it look good.
He could direct Linda Cardellini licking. Sorry. Your syphilis-infested face.
That's a sentence I never thought I'd hear today.
Hey, time to talk about Capone.
Yeah, I guess that's as good a lead-in as any.
Fucking hell.
All right. So people might remember that I think it was March or April, we started seeing a lot of publicity and a lot of reviews for Capone, which is Josh Trank's comeback to, making movies after Fant Four Stick.
Classic.
And then Capone comes out. It gets mixed reviews overall, and the people that don't like it really don't like it. Mostly on the hands of you'll like it if you like seeing 5 minutes or whatever of Al Capone shitting himself, and I'm like, yeah, that does sound kind of neat.
I would say it's worth it.
Yeah.
I definitely admire its ambition. It tries to do a lot of cool shit, and sometimes it does succeed. I think there's a dream sequence midway through or something.
The first hallucination sequence, the Shining-esque ball, and then he has the hallucination flashback of torturing their captive. And yeah, that was really well done, I thought.
Yeah. This movie kind of sucked. Yeah, I didn't really like it.
Well,
I think Tom Hardy's. Yeah.
This movie kind of rocked.
Parts of it are fucking hilarious, and parts of it are legitimate. Like I said, really, there are times when the ambition and the execution just are right on point with each other, and there are points where basically the scenes where they just let Tom Hardy talk are just kind of fucking hilarious.
I think the first 35 minutes of this movie are fucking awful.
Oh yeah, the first 35 minutes just fucking suck. They're so fucking boring.
I think it's as soon as Trank starts to kind of realize what he wants to do with the movie, because I think if there's one thing this movie does incredibly well that very few gangster movies have been able to do, Scorsese does it, but Scorsese's been able to depict this well enough, in certain aspects of his movies, but I think that Capone really, really, really gets how just disgusting mob life is. And just how, not even just how disgusting, but grotesque and horrifying. And it seems like one of the better mob movies to take a mob legend like Al Capone and completely strip him away of his power and just turn him into this, at points, laughing stock and embarrassment for our laughs. And also just kind of make him out to be this sickly monster. And it's fucking fascinating. Yeah.
And I wish that the movie had kind of leaned into more of the Shining-esque elements, if that made sense. Because there are parts where I was thinking I really wish, instead of watching the movie I'm watching now, I could just watch a movie that was full blown a Shining-esque psychological horror starring a sickly dying Al Capone. I think that would have been so much cooler than what we got, where I think what we got is it's very hit or miss, in my opinion. There are times when I just want it to end, and times when this is actually kind of brilliant, and there are times when oh, this is fucking hilarious. Please never stop acting, Tom Hardy. And Tom Hardy is transcending good and bad performances. Between this and Venom.
Oh god, you're right.
Tom Hardy's a fucking legend.
Yeah, where you can't just lower yourself to describing it in a binary of good and bad performances. This transcends the whole art.
I'm honestly starting to think that Tom Hardy is going to become our generation's Nick Cage.
Yeah, part of me thinks that. I was also going to unironically say Marlon Brando, kind of.
That too, yeah.
Yeah, where parts of his career are just so fucking bizarre.
I'm imagining Tom Hardy later on in his life having lines fed to him from a fucking earpiece.
I can see it happening. I can 100% see it happening.
Oh yeah.
Just he gets cast in a Vietnam War movie that he doesn't give a shit about, so they shoot him entirely in shadow, and it's surprisingly really good, even though he didn't give a shit the whole time.
You're not referencing anything specifically, are
I
you,
wonder what
Stefan?
movie that
No.
is.
No, nothing in particular.
You should make it, Stefan. That sounds good.
Yeah. I've got something in the works.
Yeah, I thought it was like it's not great. I'm not going to sit here and call it a masterpiece,
Mhm.
but I admire the shit out of it, and I think for the most part it achieves its ambition. Like once you get past that first 35 minutes, I think it's really, really solid.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe if Trank had more time to kind of work out some of the more psychological horror stuff, I think it would have worked a little better.
Yeah,
because like we've already kind of implied, like this movie is very, very, very heavily inspired by The Shining and by proxy David Lynch, especially with that choice casting of Kyle MacLachlan.
Bless him. Although he doesn't do much in this movie.
Hey, he gave him the carrot.
He gave him the carrot, man.
Oh my fucking god! I just remembered like the last like sequence of the movie where Tom Hardy like is just wearing a loaded adult diaper in a bathrobe, like smoking like a carrot, like a cigar, and is just carrying a golden Tommy gun around and shooting people.
Tiny golden Tommy gun.
Like maybe that could have like truly been this like kind of psychologically terrifying and surreal moment, but like I don't know, maybe that's what they were building up to, but as is, it was really fucking hilarious. Brandon, you gonna watch Capone? Sounds about right.
Or do you remember when Capone and Matt Dillon explained the plot of Wizard of Oz to each other?
Oh my fuck!
I looked right at Corbin as that was happening. I said, "That's Stefan and I."
Or when Capone's going fishing, tries to catch an alligator, calls him a bum, and shoots him.
Oh my gosh!
No. The best part was when fucking Al Capone is visited by Matt Dillon, and he like cuts his fucking eyeballs out.
God!
Oh god, that was gross.
For no reason.
Jesus.
Yeah, no, it's really cool.
All right, we got to move along. Let's just give our final recommendations on Capone. Chris, do you recommend it?
I liked it.
I'll take that as a yes. Corbin?
I enjoyed it. It's definitely worth for the memes.
Good for the lols.
You're into that.
I agree. It's worth it for the memes. I'm gonna go middle of the road though, just because of like if nothing we've said appeals to you, like there's probably nothing here for you. Like
like this is for people who are like me, and when they read all the reviews, went, "Oh shit, I'm in."
Yeah.
Let's go.
Brandon, why don't you pick something?
Oh God. Okay. Stefan, or no, sorry, Corbin. You seen Extraction? With Chris Hemsworth. It's a new Netflix film.
I forgot to put that on my list, but yeah, I did watch that.
Yeah. What did you think of that? Because I thought it was not too fucking bad, to be honest.
I was not the biggest fan of it. There's the one scene that looks like one take in the middle.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. The action scene. That's like
it was like 10-15 minutes. I thought that was really well directed and well done, well edited. But other than that, the story was just so bland to me. It was just Chris Hemsworth being an action hero.
Yeah, like one of his another typical role of his. Yeah, I can agree with that. But that one scene though was, or that 15 minutes of just straight action with nothing, like no stopping or anything, straight, no cuts even either. I thought that was fantastic.
I wish they did that throughout the whole movie.
Yeah.
What I didn't like though was how they tried to force. It was like the drug dealer's son's bodyguard. They tried to force his like character arc into there, and they had something going, and then they just completely abandoned it, and then it was just never brought up again.
Well, yeah, they try to make you feel for him, and it's just like there's not enough there to care about two protagonists.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, you can follow Chris Hemsworth and he's doing his stuff because he's a war veteran or whatever. But I don't know. I found it really hard to sympathize with his bodyguard.
I felt the script because I think it was written by one of the Russo brothers.
I think it was both of them actually.
Both of them, yeah.
I think they produced it or directed it or something.
Oh, okay, yeah. I think it was just like the Russo brothers just thinking that they, after Endgame, like they're unstoppable and can make any kind of action movie they want.
Yeah, like it's not the worst movie I've seen, but I definitely agree with you that the story is just kind of.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But actually, the best part in that movie is how Chris Hemsworth, his character, is named Tyler Rake, and then he kills a guy with a rake. That was pretty sick.
pretty good.
It's based on, I think, a graphic novel that's co-written by Joe Russo. Joe and Anthony Russo have worked on the story along with Andy Parks. Joe Russo is credited as writing the screenplay, and both the Russo brothers are producers.
Aren't the Russo brothers those guys who directed that paintball episode of Community?
That's the one.
Yeah.
But it was directed by Sam Hargrave.
Yeah, nothing else besides that episode of Community, Chris.
Yeah, basically
the only thing to know for.
That episode of Community, some episodes of Arrested Development, and Yumi and Dupree. Nothing else.
Yeah, not like it's not like the biggest cinematic thing in the last 100 years.
No, that's Avatar. That was James Cameron, dude.
Not a lot much more to say about Extraction. It was pretty basic.
I heard they're making another one already, though.
Are you serious? Like a sequel?
Yeah.
Why?
I heard it was Extraction again.
Why? Extraction. We're going back, boys.
Insertion.
Yes.
Recommend, don't recommend Extraction.
If you have nothing else to do with your day, yeah, it's all right. It's all right. If you want to waste it at like 2 hours, go for it. But it's all right. Very middle of the road.
Yeah. I probably wouldn't recommend it because I think it's way too long. But
how long is it?
It's like 2:15.
Let me check right now. I'll go check.
It's a good dad movie though. Dads will like.
Oh
it.
yeah.
Do I look like a father?
I don't know. You tell me.
You tell me.
Guys, I got to tell you. I knocked some chick up and then I took her to the abortion clinic and now I have the fetus framed in my fucking closet.
Yeah, it's 117 minutes.
Linda Catalini's coming over later.
To pet the fetus.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Christ, that was disturbing. All right. My turn. I'm the only one who's seen this, so I'll be real quick. It's also a Netflix movie. It's an animated movie called The Willoughbys.
Mm-hmm.
It's based on a book by Lois Lowry, who also wrote The Giver, I think. I couldn't find anything on the studio. It's from Braun Animation, from Braun Studios, who released movies recently.
Yes, the studio that brought you Capone. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one actually. But I couldn't find any other animated stuff they'd worked on. It's about this family called, guess what, the Willoughbys, who there's the parents and then their kids. The parents love each other and themselves, but do not give one solitary shit about the kids. And there's an older son named Tim, and there's a middle daughter named Jane, and then two twin boys who are both named Barnaby. And so they come up with the kids come up with the idea to there's a series of events. They come up with the idea to orphan themselves. Yeah, you heard me.
Okay.
No, yeah, it's a chart. It kind of reminds me a lot of what's the guy who worked on Samurai Jack? Gendy Tartakovsky. Yeah, the animation is 3D, but a lot of the action and expressions kind of remind me of him. It's very expressive animation. But there's always this kind of weird darker bend to everything going on, which I really appreciate, which you might imagine from three kids who literally send their kids, four kids who literally send their parents off on a trip to in the hopes that they'll kill themselves on it. Oh, I guess it's stop motion. That's cool. But I think the first act and the third act are really, really strong. But the middle act lags severely. But I did like it more than I thought it would, especially because a lot of modern animation stuff from stuff like Illumination, who I was actually pretty sure had done it until I actually started watching it. Like, I think a lot of that stuff, like, kind of, I really hate that animation style, but this was a pleasant surprise. So I would recommend it. If you, especially if like you're a fan of something like Invader Zim. It doesn't get nearly as dark as that, but it's got a bit of an edge to it. Ricky Gervais is in it, unfortunately, but like other than that, like, and the pacing in the middle, like it's pretty good. So yeah, I would recommend it. Who wants to go next?
Corbin, you're next.
My turn.
You're next.
Why don't we just dive right into Olive Garden, the commercial? Sonic the Hedgehog.
Woo! Sonic the Hedgehog.
Olive Garden, the commercial.
Sonic the Hedgehog.
Hold on. Okay.
The Hedgehog.
Ever wonder where your tax dollars are going?
Nope.
It's still the best line in the movie.
That was the best line in the fucking movie. It's between that or that scene where James Marsden, the cop, seriously says, well, time to abuse the powers entrusted to me.
Does he say that?
Yeah.
And then like that seems actually like really funny, even aside from that, where they like stuff Sonic in a gym bag and carry him up to the top of the building, and like he starts like whining about it, so they think they have a kid in there. That was actually really funny.
It was a really funny scene.
Okay, I think before we talk about the movie, we have to kind of talk about everything that came before it.
Yeah,
Sonic the Hedgehog being this kind of cursed ass video game franchise that like nothing can go right for it. For some reason, like when Sonic is like kind of a joke, they still get the movie greenlit.
Somehow, it's a Christmas.
I guess Sonic Mania helped, but I don't know. And then the marketing comes out and he looks fucking horrifying.
Just awful.
Just a monstrosity. And then they did the whole thing where they redid all the animation, and apparently, thank God, they didn't actually abuse any animators when they did so. So good on whoever produced the movie. And then the movie comes out and it's surprisingly not terrible. It's pretty fine.
It's fine.
Well said. It's a fun movie.
It's fun. It's I definitely liked it. It's this year's Detective Pikachu, I think. Like, I think, like, not just in the sense that they're video game, not just in the sense that they're fucking video game movies, but in the sense that if you're a fan of Sonic the Hedgehog, you're gonna be way into this, just like I was into Detective Pikachu, because Pokemon. It's like, yeah, it's like a dumb, fun kids movie, and like 30% of the humor is kind of disposable shit, but like,
how about those Olive Garden references, man?
But then there's the Olive Garden references, which are a big part of it, and then there's Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey was great.
Jim Carrey is like a revelation in this movie. I love him so much.
I fucking love Jim Carrey, man.
Yeah, I really liked it. What did you guys think?
Corbin?
No, I agree with everything you said. It's like the middle of the road movie where you can enjoy it even if you don't like Sonic that much. Like, I love Pokemon, but I did not like Detective Pikachu. But I enjoyed Sonic probably because I enjoyed Jim Carrey so much. He was just the iteration of, what was the villain's name? It was like Dr.
Robotnik.
Dr. Robotnik.
Well, pick one.
Yeah. Before he became Eggman, I guess. His reiteration was just so great. He was the epitome of classic, like, children's movie evil characters.
Oh yeah.
And classic Jim Carrey. Yeah,
while still remaining Jim Carrey.
What was the last movie that we saw like classic Jim Carrey in?
Probably Yes Man. No, I guess Dumb and Dumber 2.
Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah.
Oh, if we're talking like quality aside, it would be, I think, maybe Dumb and Dumber 2.
Yeah, you're probably right.
But if we're talking about like a decent Jim Carrey movie, I would say Yes Man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Fair. Chris, Sonic. Give us your thoughts on Sonic.
Chris really liked Sonic.
Good.
Or wait, really liked. Whoops. Chris thought it was really fine. Chris thought, like, basically, I'm echoing literally everything you two said because you guys are right.
Mm-hmm.
It was disposable, fun, rainy Saturday afternoon trash.
Mm-hmm.
That at points made me laugh a lot harder than I thought it would.
Mm-hmm.
Jim Carrey's great. I love him so much. I miss old Jim Carrey so much. and we need more old Jim Carrey in our lives.
Yeah.
I honestly really hope that this kind of revamps his comedy career a bit.
Or even revamps his mental state, because he was in a pretty dark spot for a few years there.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, because like interview wise, he seems to be doing a lot better now. Yeah, no, like I hope that this revives his career. I hope being in the movie and just promoting it a bit has helped with his mental health a bit.
Apparently he's into doing another one as Robotnik, which I think would be fun.
I would fucking go in a heartbeat.
They did set it up at the end too.
Oh yeah,
Other planet.
Yeah, like with Eggman not being dead and also Tails. Like, yeah, they're gonna do another one.
Yeah, they're gonna do another one. Fucking when they fucking brought Tails, and I was like, God damn it!
I mean, come on, like they weren't not gonna do it. Like if they knew,
I just don't want them setting up a sequel to Sonic.
But that would mean you don't. But that would mean you don't get Jim Carrey as Dr. Robotnik anymore. So,
oh right,
you know, you got to give a little to get a little.
I mean, we could just have like Bruce Almighty 2.
There was no Evan Almighty.
Don't remind.
There was Evan Almighty. Yeah,
that's like how Dumb and Dumberer when Harry Met Lloyd doesn't exist.
Oh my god!
And yes, it's actually called Dumb and Dumberer. You know what's really great about you know what the best thing in a Jim Carrey movie is, and it's in a Jim Carrey sequel. It's in Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls, when he climbs out of that rhino's asshole.
That sounds horrible.
It's fucking great.
It's fun.
Also, hot take: Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls is better than the first one because at least the second one isn't transphobic.
Sure enough.
Yeah.
I recommend Sonic the Hedgehog. What do you two say?
I recommend it, and like I wouldn't recommend you spend a shitload of money on it.
No, God no.
I'd recommend it if it was on Netflix. You know, sit back with your kids and watch it on Netflix.
Oh yeah, especially if you have kids. This is a great kids movie.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
For every shitty kids joke, there's Jim Carrey about to release government-sponsored drone robots. As he says, ever wonder where your tax dollars are going?
To no one in particular.
To no one in particular, yeah.
Before even the Olive Garden ads, the Zillow ad.
Yes.
Oh, that one may have been the worst. The Olive Garden ones were funny. The Zillow one.
The Olive Garden ones weren't funny because the Olive Garden is disgusting.
Hey, bro, you got to.
Don't you dare say that about Olive Garden.
No, I'm going to sit on the Olive Garden for about 15 minutes now.
They have the best breadsticks.
Hi, welcome to my review of the never-ending pasta bowl from the Olive Garden.
Welcome to Olive Garden.
A homeless man was jacking off when we left our Olive Garden. 0 out of 10.
For 45 minutes.
45 minutes.
Why would my parents let me sit there and watch him jack off for 45 minutes? Son.
It was right outside the window. Olive Garden didn't even close the blinds.
Hey kids, look, dinner and a show. It's like we're at Jubilations, you know?
Oh my god. This is almost as good as Red Robin.
So it sounds like we all recommend Sonic the Hedgehog and strongly don't recommend Olive Garden. Brandon, why don't you pick something?
Oh.
Okay, I'm going to pick something I think everyone except Corbin has seen. Fantasy Island.
Okay.
Fuck that.
Let's talk about this train wreck of a fucking Blumhouse movie.
Well,
I think my god.
No, I think we should start to a simpler time in February before the pandemic hit. Brandon phones me one day and he goes, "Hey, you want to come see a movie?" "Sure, what do you want to go see?" How about Fantasy Island?" "Nope." "Fantasy Island?" "Nope." "Come on, Birds of Prey. I will only watch Birds of Prey with you." Fuck you. Hangs up, goes to see Birds of Prey without me regardless. Fast forward about a week later, I'm on vacation. I get a phone call from Brandon on my vacation. And because I'm not home to babysit you fucking jackasses, you both went and saw Fantasy Island.
Look, we weren't. We would have had to wait 4 hours to catch the showing of Sonic the Hedgehog. And yes, in retrospect, we should have just done that.
Listen, man, the baby gate was open when I tried to leave. So what a fucking horrible film.
Yeah. Fuck, I left the fucking baby gate open. God damn it.
I didn't know this was a TV show going in. Like, I didn't even know Fantasy Island, the TV show, exists.
Wait, really?
Oh, yeah, no, it's based on a TV show from the late 70s to the mid 80s.
Yeah.
And the show is actually, like, it's fucking dated. Like, it's a corny 70s show, but it's really fucking fun.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
As the complete opposite of the movie that came out last year.
Yeah, like...
Yeah. That was this year. It was
it this year?
January. I think it was January or February.
Oh, it was January. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes a lot of fucking sense.
Corbin, what did Corbin say earlier? The garbage dumpster of horror movie releases.
Pretty much.
Well, just movies in general, yeah.
Yeah, I want to strangle everybody in this movie. I just hate everything about it.
The big air quotes twist at the end.
There was like 3 twists in the space of like 5 minutes, and I can't remember a single goddamn one.
The only one I remember is the girl.
You guys took away my hot date, so I brought you all to this fucking sketchy island with Michael Pena. You're all gonna fucking die.
He was in a Marvel movie. Did you know that? You made fun of me. You bullied me in high school, so now I'm gonna kill everybody you love. Shit. Okay. Fuck you.
No. It went from you bullied me to you killed my hot date in a burning fire by accident.
I lost my boyfriend in a fire that was nobody's fault, but I'm blaming everyone because I hate my life.
Also, we need to make a movie, and Blumhouse needs to finance The Invisible Man.
Also, it's going to be the same girl actor who's in every Blumhouse horror movie, and she's awful.
And also,
like seriously, she's been in like the last 3 horror movies by Blumhouse, and they're all garbage.
I don't think she was in Invisible Man, though.
You're talking about the girl who was in Truth or Dare?
Yeah.
She's also in Fantasy Island, dude.
Yes.
Also, it's from the director of Truth or Dare himself, Jeff Wadlow, a genius man who also made Kick-Ass 2.
Oh, God. Fuck Jeff Wadlow.
And True Memoirs of an International Assassin starring Kevin fucking James.
You remember Stefan, you remember fucking... At the end of the film, it's like, oh, my wish is that my brother is going to be alive, but I guess that means I'm a captive of this island for the rest of eternity. Like,
okay, I need a bitch about
tattoo.
That. I need a bitch about that. So, fucking Jesus. Okay, I don't have much of an emotional attachment to fucking Fantasy Island here, but Jesus Christ, the way that
anybody born after the 70s.
nor does anyone born during the 70s, but here nor there. The fact that they just said, yeah, we're going to introduce tattoo into the sequel bait tattoo by just having one of the douchiest characters in the movie have a tattoo that says tattoo on his fucking collarbone. Dude, like you and Stefan both realize that Tattoo is an actual character on the show, right?
Yep.
Is he actually?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate my life.
Is the plot they go to this island and they die?
Yep.
Okay, so we gotta explain it. Corbin went to go vape some sick clouds, so we gotta fill him in.
Corbin is a precious little boy who doesn't need to subject himself to the shit show that is Fantasy Island.
It's okay, big guy. We're gonna explain it to you. So, Fantasy Island was a show from the 70s.
Hey, big guy, sun's getting real low.
For God's sake, let me finish. So, Fantasy Island.
Okay, one more time.
So I'm gonna kill you, Brandon.
You feel my pain.
So Fantasy Island was fucking Christ. Laugh one more time. So Fantasy Island was a show from the late 70s until about the early mid 80s, and it focused on various people because it was like a semi-anthology show. Like there would be like 2 or 3 different stories going on in each episode. And so like the general premise was these people would go to this island run by this like very mysterious but enigmatic billionaire named Mr. Rourke. And he had an assistant who was this little person named Tattoo. And basically, and they were the only two recurring characters in the entire series. And so people would go onto this island to live out their wildest fantasies, but there would always be a catch. So like it was kind of like a weird morality lesson thing.
Wait, hold on. So you said that there's only two recurring characters, but so I mean, like, because they added his wife in the movie, like as like a super important character to him. She just not exist in the fucking show.
From what I remember of the show, the wife doesn't really exist.
Was the TV show good?
Yeah, the TV show's fun. Like I mentioned to them when you were out vaping your sick clouds. It's yes, I said that. It's 2013, guys.
Honestly, like you take that premise and try to make it into a horror movie, and I think that should work out really well.
Here's the thing, and I was talking to you about this, Stefan, when I did finally sit down and watch it. Can't believe I paid $6.99 for that.
Yeah, I can't either.
Yeah, I got it for free because I'm smart.
Look, I'm gonna punch you in the dick, okay?
Promise?
No, but like I mentioned this to Stefan in private when we were talking about the movie, and I said to him, I feel like if Netflix put together like, I don't know, like a Fantasy Island anthology series where like each episode was a different set of characters living their fantasy, and you took away all the stupid fucking backstory of the movie, I think it'd be really good.
I guess Michael Rooker had to pay rent or something, huh?
Oh yeah, Michael Rooker shows up for 30 seconds.
I forgot he is in this movie, to be honest.
You know what?
I think Michael Rooker forgot he was in the movie too. All right, nobody here recommends Fantasy Island.
No,
Fantasy Island.
Corbin, you should watch Fantasy Island.
All right, I'll add to the watch list.
I'll just go,
boys.
any day. I'm just gonna get this one out of the way because I feel like we've talked about it on the show before. But Birds of Prey.
You know, the movie I would have rather Brandon see instead of Fantasy Island, and then decide to go see it. And yeah, and you didn't call me a dick.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Dad. Like, fuck. You have to call me after every movie you go see so I can judge you.
Birds of Prey is good.
Birds of Prey is amazing. Yeah.
Birds of Prey is wonderful.
It is good.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
It feels like a 70s exploitation movie starring Harley Quinn, and that's why I love it so much.
Yeah, I feel like the only people who actually hate on this movie too are they're just a bunch of DC fanboys,
or just people who hate women.
People who love Suicide Squad.
I was talking to somebody the other day. I was talking to somebody the other day about it, and all the complaints they had were literally just because they didn't follow with the comic stuff. And I'm like, this is the DCEU. Who fucking they threw out comic book and source material years ago. Like,
yeah, if you like Batman v Superman, but you don't like Birds of Prey, eat my ass.
You have no excuse.
Imagine unironically liking Man of Steel.
I'm gonna leave now. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I have self-respect.
Corbin, we haven't heard your opinion on Birds of Prey. What's your opinion on Birds of Prey?
Yeah, Corbin, what'd you think of the movie?
I really enjoyed it. I thought, though, the movie is so short. It's like 1:40.
Yeah,
but it felt short. Longer. I thought there was pacing issues throughout it, I wish there was more. I never read the comics, but I wish there was more like characterization for. I forget the other Birds of Prey, Black Canary,
Huntress, and Black Canary.
Huntress.
I really like Mary Elizabeth Winstead as Huntress.
Yes.
I just wish I knew her about her character more.
Yes.
I do remember feeling like Huntress and Black Canary's backstories were like pretty rushed.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they had like a whole 5 minutes of backstory, and then they're like, all right, continue with Harley Quinn stuff.
And Huntress's all came like right before the last act, if I'm remembering right.
She seemed really interesting too. I actually really wanted to learn more about her. Like,
Huntress is a cool character. She like has a lot of like. She's not really DC's Punisher or anything. She's more associated with Batman, but she does have like a bit more of like that killer edge. Like Huntress is a cool character. Her costume's extremely different too in the comics. But
I also really liked Ewan McGregor as Black Mask.
Oh, he was so good.
Oh, he was so fun. Yeah.
He was so fun. You know what I really liked the most, though? The fact that Ewan McGregor left his wife so he could be with Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. That's extremely scummy.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Yep.
Like after filming the movie?
No, this was like when they were doing Fargo season 3 together.
Oh.
Yeah,
had
Ewan
to do that at
McGregor's
some
kind of a
point.
dick.
Mm-hmm. Great in the movie, though.
Yeah, great in the movie. He's a great actor in general. I love watching him. He's fantastic.
I can't wait until he's Obi-Wan in his Disney Plus series.
All right, that's
He definitely had the higher ground on Mary Elizabeth Winstead, if you know what I mean.
When the fuck does that fucking shit come out?
Okay. I think we're good on Birds of Prey.
Well, it was a mounting joke.
And on that note, we all recommend Birds of Prey, right?
Don't let him explain.
Probably for the best, Corbin, to be honest.
All right.
Is it my turn to pick something now?
It's Corbin's turn. Corbin, you're up.
Okay, sorry, just give me a second.
I think I got.
Okay, Bad Education.
Oh, I like that movie a lot.
That's my personal favorite movie.
Bad Education
released this year.
I'm flip flopping between Bad Education and another one, which I'm sure Stefan will bring up pretty shortly.
Which one's Bad Education again?
Okay, so Bad Education's a movie from HBO, directed by Corey Finley, right?
Yep.
And it stars Hugh Jackman and Allison Janney, and it's about this giant public school scandal from like the early 2000s.
Mm-hmm. About embezzling money.
Yes.
About the superintendents embezzling like millions of dollars from this like super rich kind of
neighborhood.
Yeah.
Well, like
school board.
Well, school board. Yeah, this school board that happens to be in a very wealthy neighborhood where the parents are super rich.
Okay.
And most of the kids go to like Ivy League schools and everything.
It's probably the angriest I've been watching a movie in a long time where I actually enjoyed being angry.
Like, what would be another example? Like Vice?
Yeah. Like Vice does the same thing. I think Vice does it a little better. But
yeah, Vice is
with
pretty good.
But with Bad Education, it's like when they have the text at the end explaining what happened after the events of the movie, you're like sitting there in a ball of rage, like, I want to fucking kill all of these people.
Mm-hmm.
They're such goddamn scumbags.
Mm-hmm. Jackman's so good at playing like that.
Hugh Jackman's so fucking good.
Asshole.
Dude, Hugh Jackman's great.
Dude, we don't talk about how good Allison Janney is in that movie often enough, do we?
She was really.
I can't believe
Janney fucking rules.
I can't believe film Twitter just slept on her performance, man.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking horse shit. I can't believe it just said film Twitter unironically.
Yeah, if there's one person we expect to be like in the like have their finger on the pulse of popular consciousness, it's fucking film Twitter.
Yes.
Yes, Stefan. You know how the system works.
Yes, film Twitter, the same group of people that tried to cancel Once Upon a Time in Hollywood before it even fucking came out.
The same group of people that like literally want to litigate whether or not Tarantino is canceled like every fucking other week.
Film Twitter, it's like K-pop. It's just full of stans.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah. Honestly, like K-pop, I've come around on this. K-pop stans are way cooler than film Twitter.
Oh, absolutely.
They shut down the Dallas PD.
Yeah.
The video force or whatever it was called.
And what the fuck did film Twitter do?
Something about the phrase Dallas PD video force sounds funny to me.
Sounds like the TV.
Imagine like a mall cop running around like a handheld like camcorder.
Not just any mall cop, but Paul Blart.
Paul Blart, yes, specifically Kevin James.
Yeah, like honestly, like K-pop stans say all cops are bastards. Like film Twitter people like just argue about whether Birdman was good or not. Like honestly, K-pop stans like cool.
Very cool.
I feel like film Twitter is absolutely low key ruining my enjoyment of film sometimes. Like, remember when Portrait of a Lady on Fire came out, Corbin, and like everyone was debating whether that or Parasite was better, and it's like, just enjoy both, you fucking morons.
Mm-hmm.
But I gotta rank them. There has to be a winner.
I'm just imagining like a bunch of white liberals like fucking masturbating and while ranking shit on Letterboxd.
Just in a corner with
and tweeting about it.
Corner of a room with a desk lamp on, just fucking. All right, here we go.
I remember the.
Here are my first time watches in January ranked.
But the opening scene in Bad Education is Hugh Grant talking to himself in a mirror. Hugh Jackman. Hugh Jackman talking to himself in the mirror, and in the background you hear somebody's voice, and it turns out it's Ray Romano's voice.
Yes,
and then it just it's going to be a great movie.
Master Chief Ray Romano.
Yes,
I'm sold.
Master Chief Ray Romano.
I am sold on this already.
You know what really fucking threw me off? When Ray Romano showed up in The Irishman.
It was in the
he did, didn't he?
You prepared me for it. You told me that.
Yeah, but also I was like, holy shit, Ray Romano's going to be in this.
And he was great.
And he's great.
It's because it's Ray Romano.
Like
Felino.
He's not as good in The Irishman as he is in Welcome to Mooseport, though. I always say that.
All right, it sounds like you two are done talking about Bad Education, so we're gonna move.
I do strongly recommend it, though. It's probably my favorite movie of the year. Again, I'm flip flopping between one and another one, which I'm sure Stefan or I'll bring up in a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought it was really, really fucking good and just super well written too.
I thought the screenplay was great.
The screenplay's incredible. The performances all across the board are incredible. One of the younger teen actresses from Blockers plays
that's the journalism.
Yeah, plays the journalism
student.
kid.
Yeah.
Who knew?
The scene with her and
Hugh Jackman
in the hallway. Tension filled.
No, the scene with them sitting outside the school.
Oh, afterwards?
That one's really good. Yeah.
That's a good scene too.
That's an incredible scene. And as the film unfolds, you get more and more tense and you get more and more angry as it goes along.
Mm-hmm.
And fuck, it's so good. So yeah, huge recommendation for me.
Yep, it's my favorite movie of 2020 that I've seen so far. So I recommend it.
All right, Chris, I think you're next.
Yay! Hey, Corbin, you want to talk about the Wrong Missy?
Oh my fucking god. Okay, hold on. I'm going to say something, okay? I watched the Red Letter Media fucking review of Wrong Missy.
I haven't watched it, so don't tell me anything.
Oh my fucking god, dude.
Okay, Corbin, I'm going to explain the movie. None of you are allowed to laugh until...
Okay.
And you can only release when I say so, when I ask Corbin what he thinks of the movie, okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So in The Wrong Missy, fuck off.
I'm already laughing, dude. Like,
so in The Wrong Missy, David Spade gets raped twice and then falls in love with his assailant. So Corbin, what did you think of The Wrong Missy?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, no, he's not lying. That happened.
Oh, I believe
I saw it.
oh my god. I don't even need to see it to know it's just... Oh, God.
Well, I was texting Chris about this.
No, this was basically it. He sends me the list of movies that he saw this year so I can add him to the list. And I went, should I sit down and watch The Wrong Missy? He's like, yeah, if you like pain, I guess. Sure.
I think it's the worst movie of the series of Adam Sandler and friends take a vacation to somewhere exotic and film a
That's exactly,
free
dude.
vacation.
the lady, there's literally Adam Sandler's wife and kids are literally in this movie.
Oh yeah, of course.
Oh yeah.
Also, we need to do a Sequel Decay episode about the Adam Sandler movies where he just uses movies as an excuse to do a free vacation. Come on, Stefan. I know you want to.
Will this be the episode that Stefan audibly commits suicide on?
It's all right. The Wrong Missy. Nope.
Find out next time when we talk about like whatever one of these fucking dumbass Happy Madison movies takes place in Africa.
Terrific.
Oh, that's Blended.
Yeah.
How the fuck did we know
Oh my
that?
god, it is. Oh my god.
Oh,
Blended.
Me.
Hold on.
No.
The next one's going to be in Iceland.
You guys should be ashamed that Corbin and I knew that.
I kind of am, but honestly, like when I was hearing you describing it, like I think that was like a moment of like surprising self-esteem for myself, because I was like considering myself, you know, I fucking hate myself. Maybe I should put myself through this. And then like I could never quite, like my cursor hovered on the movie's logo on Netflix for a while, and I couldn't quite bring myself to do it. So, you know, maybe I do have some self-esteem, although like knowing me, like within like 12 hours, I'm gonna
here's the thing I think is a huge problem with this movie, and this is
I'm gonna tell my therapist.
There was a point where I texted Stefan. I said to him, "What's worse, David Spade getting raped twice, or the presence of Rob Schneider?"
Oh, man, here's the thing, right? And this is what the fucking RLM said about it. Like Rob Schneider and his characters in these like Adam Sandler and Friends movies is like always like either like the Mexican guy or the Indian guy, or like some kind of like non-white character, right? Horribly offensive, racist person, right?
Yeah, and a horribly offensive character.
You can't do that anymore. So what you have now is literally just Rob Schneider just being himself,
which I'm sure is just fucking miserable.
It's just him, and that's awful.
Plus, Vanilla Ice has a cameo.
Right, Vanilla
No,
Ice.
he doesn't.
Yeah, he does.
Oh my god!
Oh god, I forgot about that. Yeah, he shows up to almost. Okay,
Man,
so this is when David Spade realizes he's in love with the woman who raped him twice.
Yep.
I want to keep mentioning that, not because I think it's funny, but because I want you to know that this is what David Spade and company thought was funny. So anyway. No, not even just funny. They thought this was heartwarming. So anyway, this woman rapes him twice. He's madly in love with her at this point, and he tries to do the same prank thing that she did on their first date, which was like, you know, send him to the wrong table and almost get into an altercation with some huge guy who would kick the shit out of David Spade. Rightfully so, because it's David Spade.
Yeah.
Anyway,
David Spade's existence just justifies any violence done to him.
I mean, you know what else as well is like, because I think in this movie he's like the kind of corporate guy. He's like, oh yeah, I gotta work my way up the corporate ladder, but like he's in his like 40s. Like, he should be well past the era of I need to impress the boss and kiss ass. He should be the boss.
55.
My point more being made here, guys. He shouldn't be kissing the boss's ass to get a promotion when he should be the boss.
Anyway, so I'm trying to explain the Vanilla Ice cameo. So he does the same thing to her, but he ends up leading her to Vanilla Ice's table instead.
Mm-hmm.
And so he just shows up, and then he asks Vanilla Ice when like David Spade and the assailant get together. I'm not even calling her by her real name.
The assailant.
She's a fuck. So when David Spade and his assailant get together at the end, he asks fucking Vanilla Ice, "Hey, you want to join us in a three-way?" He's like, "No," and that's his cameo. Man, I thought we were done talking about Vanilla Ice when we did Turtles in Time, okay? Like,
oh, I wish.
I thought we were done with
that was
Go Ninja, Go Ninja, Go.
2, not 3.
Who fucking cares, Chris? Chris, who fucking cares, okay?
I deserve that. Also,
actually,
I want to mention
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2.
I want to also mention my favorite moments of the Wrong Missy, if you don't mind, Corbin.
Oh, go ahead.
My favorite moments include David Spade getting raped twice, David Spade almost getting killed by a shark, and his assailant falling off a cliff nearly to her death. Oh, you know why these were my favorite parts of the movie?
It almost ended them.
Because I thought, oh, thank God, the movie's almost over.
Because it almost ended, yeah. And here's the thing, is that like girl, the actress, she just isn't funny. Like, I don't find her funny.
I mean, nobody's funny in a fucking Adam Sandler comedy.
No, but like even in like her like other movies I've seen her in, I just don't think she's very funny.
Yeah, it's just obnoxious humor.
Yeah,
it's just so over the top, right? Like, it's supposed to like this, like, because David Spade eventually falls in love with her, right? That's the whole point of the movie. It's the typical.
Yeah, he falls in love with his assailant.
But like, it's so hard to fucking think of this lady as, oh, she's actually just a person who he can fall in love with, when she's just, her actions in the first third or half of the movie is just so ridiculously outrageous. You just can't fucking see this person as anything but that.
Why does this movie have Roman Reigns in it?
Sorry. And then Rob Schneider, remember, he gets high by putting like weed cream all over his body.
Right, yeah. Fucking massage.
Is that how?
Oh, I hate this.
Because that's how it works. Yes, because that's how it works. Fuck.
Oh God.
If it is, and I'm wrong, I'm sorry, but like, fuck.
And remember when the assailant hypnotizes David Spade's boss?
Oh yeah, into loving him.
Into loving David Spade and hating Adam Sandler's wife. And the only way that he can get out of it is if she said like hairy wet werewolf vagina with a yellow tongue or something like that.
Bro, I think you got that exactly.
Fuck! Hang on, we need to prep the movie now to make sure.
No,
right, everyone go watch the Wrong Missy.
You're done. No more Wrong Missy. We're moving on.
Ask if we recommend it at least.
Man, I can't.
Do you recommend the Wrong Missy, Chris and Corbin?
I don't know, Chris.
Yes.
I mean, I think it's a masterpiece.
It's the right Missy in my heart.
It's so bad that midway through the movie, my power went out because my TV was like, I'm fucking done with this shit.
Even your internet provider is like, dude, what are you doing?
Shaw's just like, are you fucking stupid? Who hacked your Netflix, you motherfucker?
How many people are using your one account?
All right, Brandon, you're next.
Okay, I am going to now talk about something that you guys suggested I watch earlier today. What did Jack do?
Yay!
Yeah.
Which was fucking fantastic.
It is.
All right, who wants to explain it?
I'm not going to explain David Lynch stuff. Chris, I think you should explain David Lynch.
Yeah. Was that really a fucking question,
My
Chris?
bread and butter.
Go off, King.
Let's go. All right. So, in What Did Jack Do? David Lynch.
I had no idea what was going on for the first 5 minutes of that, by the way. I was like, what is happening?
Actually, that should just be the plot right there. In What Did Jack Do? David Lynch.
There you go.
So, Stefan, what did you think of What Did Jack Do? So in What Did Jack Do? David Lynch interrogates a talking monkey that's voiced by David Lynch?
It's credited as Jack Cruz, but that sounds like David Lynch.
That sounds like fucking David Lynch.
Yeah.
And he's interrogating him over the murder of a chicken?
Oh, a chicken.
Yep.
This movie's fucking awesome.
There's
a musical number.
Minutes.
You forgot.
Oh my God.
Number.
It's so good.
Brandon, this is your first David Lynch thing, right?
I think so.
What'd you think?
Okay, so here's the thing, right? I was watching this and I was like, okay, I have no idea what to expect. And then I saw the mouth of the monkey.
Super like, onto the monkey.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, okay, so this is where this is gonna go. And then they start. At first, I thought it was just them just saying random lines from movies of previous movies, because they were just saying randoms, just the most random stuff.
You know what? I can see that.
And I was just like, oh God. And then it developed a plot about halfway through. And I was like, oh, okay. So he's having an affair with a chicken. And it's wrong because he's a monkey, I guess. It's an allegory for something.
But doesn't it rule though?
It's so good, dude. I had such a good time watching this.
Best movie
just so good. Best 17 minutes of my life.
Corbin, you saw it, right?
I saw it the first day it was released. I haven't watched it since. I don't have an opinion on it because I could not. I forgot about the whole chicken part. Honestly, all I know is that there's a monkey named Jack and David Lynch is in it. So
that's all you really need to know. That's all you really need to know for this amazing film.
Yeah, no, there's a talking monkey and David Lynch is in it.
Yeah,
it's perfect. It's a perfect work of art.
What the fuck was the chicken's name?
Tutadabon.
Tutadabon. What a name. Tutadabon. My love.
Tutadabon.
My love. Get him, boys.
You can go to hell.
You can go to hell. Oh, man. Well, that's what every time David Lynch asks him a question, he's like, fuck you.
Okay,
I've
I gotta
heard
say
you've
this
been
outright.
associating with farm birds. Anyway, sorry, Chris.
You were there last night.
You know what? You know what the most fucked up thing about What Did Jack Do is?
What?
So I'm the resident David Lynch expert on the program.
Yes.
Stefan watched it before I did.
Yep.
That's it. That's the most
Feel
fucked
that
up
shame.
thing. It took me what, a month and a half to get around to it.
Something like that. It rules.
It's so good.
Oh, good.
Okay, so we all recommend What Did Jack Do?
Yes.
Dude, it's
and,
it's like a YouTube clip. It's a 17-minute piece of art that is fantastic.
Yeah, if you have Netflix, you don't really have an excuse not to watch it.
Yeah, like if you have Netflix, go watch it. It's fucking great. If you have Netflix in Canada, they just put a few David Lynch movies on there, so you can watch Eraserhead, Lost Highway, Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me, but you should watch the original Twin Peaks series first before you watch Fire Walk with Me, or it's gonna be
If you watch Fire Walk with Me before the series, like, God bless you, but you're a fucking moron.
Well, and here's Chris's daily plug of, hey, watch Twin Peaks because it's awesome.
Welcome to the first 2 years of me knowing him.
Pretty sure that was the first thing Chris ever recommended to me was, no, my bad. It was Army of Darkness first, and then Twin Peaks.
My turn. I want to talk about Color Out of Space.
Yay!
You
saw it, right? Yep. Good.
Color Out of Space. Okay, so it's Richard Stanley's the director, right?
Yeah.
What? It's his first movie in a long time, right? I'm not up to my old poor movie knowledge, but it's his first movie in a while, right?
This is Richard Stanley's first time directing a narrative feature since he tried to adapt The Island of Dr. Moreau.
Right.
That got taken away from him.
Yeah.
And it's based on the H.P. Lovecraft short story.
Yep.
And stars Nicolas fucking Cage.
Yep. It's born out of a story that's based on the fact that H.P. Lovecraft doesn't understand how colors work. But yeah, it stars Nicolas Cage and his family, who are the gardeners, who they moved to a rural town in I forget where, and farm alpacas because he's had like a midlife crisis or something. And this movie is gorgeous.
This movie slaps so hard.
It lives up to its title of color. And like, especially like near the very end, like when like the colors do kind of like my brother and I watched it, and when like you can see like a kind of a glint of color in the water as they pour out tap water, and like that like set us both on edge. Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of all over the place on it, but what did Corbin? What did you think?
Yeah, Corbin, what'd you think?
I don't know too much about Lovecraft, but I thought it was like in like perfect Gonzo Nick Cage Rage Cage performance inside like
Nick Rage
inside like a violent haze, like hallucinogenic nightmare.
The only thing you should know about H.P. Lovecraft, by the way, is his cat's name.
Don't say it. Do not fucking say that.
You know I won't fucking say it. Just Google it.
I'm Googling it.
Don't say it out loud. Okay. Just Google it.
Okay. Don't say it out loud. I beg of you, do not say it out loud.
You know I fucking won't, jackass.
I'm not talking to you.
Oh my god. That's his fucking name?
Yep. H.P. Lovecraft had a negative opinion on anything. H.P. Lovecraft had a negative opinion on anybody that wasn't some sickly wasp. So, yeah, I'll put that lightly. But basically, any Lovecraftian work that comes after Lovecraft is almost guaranteed to be 1,000,000 times less racist than anything Lovecraft wrote. This is a good case of that. Although I think this was more a case of him just being scared of anything different. The less time we dwell on that, the better. But Nicolas Cage rules in this movie.
Nicolas Cage is exceptional. This and Mandy are almost like the strange, perfect double feature of like gorgeously shot and gorgeous. Mandy is another Nick Cage horror movie, but this like gorgeously shot, over the top, grindhouse-esque movies produced by Elijah Wood too.
Tommy Chong is also in this movie, and he's really entertaining.
Oh yeah, right. Tommy Chong of That 70s Show fame.
Fucking Tommy Chong in that 70s Show. You get out of Canada.
Yeah. I think we've hit a wall with Color Out of Space, but I will recommend it.
Full-heartedly.
Corbin, do you recommend Color Out of Space? I don't think we got you.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Second time I've fucking done that.
Wholeheartedly, I enjoyed it.
Okay. All right. Corbin, your turn.
Okay. The Gentleman.
Oh boy. Why did I think you were going to pick that? Okay, that's a you and me one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they haven't.
I don't think they watched it. Did you guys
No,
watch The Gentleman?
No.
I was considering watching it, but I ran out of time.
Which one is this again?
That's the new Guy Ritchie movie.
Guy Ritchie.
Yeah, the new Guy Ritchie film. His follow-up to Aladdin 2019, our Sequel Decay Worst of the Year.
Yeah, that's true. It's got the illustrious honor of being just absolutely fucking nothing. That's an accurate descriptor, I think. Anyway, tell us about The Gentleman.
All right, so The Gentleman is basically Guy Ritchie kind of returning to, I guess, his quote-unquote form, with him doing something more in the vein of like Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels and Snatch.
Yeah, It's like the most Guy Ritchie movie.
It's a very Guy Ritchie movie.
A very Guy Ritchie Christmas.
I paid to see that movie.
I guess the short version of it for me is like, if you're not into Guy Ritchie, I don't see any fucking point in you seeing it.
Mm-hmm.
If you like Guy Ritchie enough, you'll probably get a kick out of it. I thought it was fun for what it was, but it's not something I'd go back and watch again. You, Corbin? Would you watch it again?
No, I wouldn't. It's just Guy Ritchie pretty much masturbating on the camera, showing what everything Guy Ritchie does. And there's so many kind of like backhand, offhand racism in the movie too.
Yes. I said that way too enthusiastically, but I meant that more in like right.
Yeah. It just felt like a mean-spirited movie.
It feels... The thing with Guy Ritchie movies of the past is that I don't think what Guy Ritchie did in the past can be replicated now, and I think The Gentleman kind of proves that. Because I think Guy Ritchie's early works have always been kind of like these Cockney, cruel-spirited, like, just over-the-top gonzo films that, like, I had fun with parts of The Gentleman, and like most of it I did enjoy. But yeah, like the stuff that you mentioned, like there's a lot of like offhand racism in the movie, and it's just very... It's like, honestly, I think it's for people who really, really, really like Guy Ritchie. If you don't like Guy Ritchie, there's no point in you watching it. It was fine. Probably the best thing to come out of January, though.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't think it was bad. I loved Hugh Grant.
Hugh Grant is so fucking good. Him and Colin Farrell.
Yep.
I feel like I'm missing someone else, but I know there was someone else in that movie I was like madly in love with.
Jeremy Irons was great in it too. Main villain.
Oh yeah.
From Succession, Jeremy Irons. He was great, but yeah, I wouldn't recommend it unless you like Guy Ritchie.
Yeah, like that's basically the best we can do.
Okay, Chris, you are up.
Oh boy. You know what? Fuck it. Stefan, we're going to talk about Come to Daddy.
Yay, I love this movie.
That movie's fucking great. Speaking of Elijah Wood.
There he is.
I'll give the quick plot summary without ruining anything. Elijah Wood visits his estranged dad. Shit goes down, hilarity ensues. That's all you need to know.
Pretty much.
Go watch it. It's great. Go watch it.
Elijah Wood is such a good actor. Like,
Elijah Wood, like, my favorite thing about him, I was going to mention this when we were talking about Color of Space, but I thought I'd save it till now. My favorite thing about him is that as soon as Lord of the Rings ended, he basically just dove headfirst into genre films.
Yep.
And he's just been making a name for himself that way. Like, if you haven't seen the remake of Maniac that came out like 7 or 8 years ago, it's so fucking good. It's like, it's all shot from the first person. It's basically about this dude that like scalps women and uses the scalps to make wigs for his mannequins. It's charming.
Wow. Okay.
Did you guys like him in what was that movie, The Last Witch Hunter with Vin Diesel?
I didn't watch
not see that.
Really? Yeah. Well, he's in that. He plays the bad guy.
I might watch it for him.
He's not in a lot of it, to be honest, but he is one of the main characters. So.
Yeah, he rules in this. So Stephen McHattie is kind of fucking hilarious in it too.
Stephen McHattie's great. I don't want to go into plot details, but
that's the thing. Yeah,
like, go watch it.
Yeah, it's not
on demand.
It's like an hour and a half. If you have a library card, like it's on Hoopla. If your library is affiliated with Hoopla, like Edmonton's is.
Hoopla.
So it's free, and it's free if you have that. So yeah, just fucking watch it. Do it.
Insert
so much fun.
Reference.
It is very weird, but it's totally worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Brandon, you're up.
You guys know what time it is.
Tiger King time.
It's Tiger King time, boys.
Fuck. Okay, I'm gonna go have a smoke. You guys have fun.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure me and Corbin are the only ones who watched the entire series. Because you've seen the whole thing, right, Corbin?
Yeah, I did.
What did you think? Every person on that fucking show is horrible, except for one or two people.
They're all horrible people. Like I watched the whole thing, but by episode 4, I was getting sick of it. I just wanted to finish it because I was invested in.
Yeah, same, dude. It took me honestly, I think 2.5 weeks to finish the entire thing, just because it was so hard to watch. Like they literally have a guy who is the epitome of what is it? Apparently the motivation behind Scarface.
Oh yeah, that guy was probably the most humanized character in the documentary.
Even though he recounts in a time where he stood and watched some guy chop an FBI agent's head off with him.
Exactly. And that guy seemed like the nicest guy on the show.
Which is the fuck thing. The serial killer or the Scarface-esque person is the nicest guy on that show.
Yeah.
Which is horrible. Just Stefan, you said you were gonna you were debating watching it, but that you didn't know about any the animal cruelty stuff, right? So
yeah, I really hate watching a lot of animal cruelty, which is probably one of the reasons why I didn't watch a lot of horror movies until recently.
Yeah, same. Well, and there's not any hugely overly graphic animal violence, but you definitely hear about it. There was one the Joel McHale episode that came out after the first 7.
Mm-hmm.
They do interviews with all the cast, and one of the cast was saying how one day this lady with her really sick horse came and brought the horse to Joe and said, "Hey, can you take care of this? Can you give him a good life? I can't take care of him anymore." And Joe's like, "Yeah, for sure, we'll take care of him. Don't you worry about it." And then as soon as the lady fucking leaves, just takes out his fucking pistol and shoots the horse in the head. Instantly, he's just "Oh, we don't take care of garbage here," or some stupid fucking hick line like that. It's just Jesus Christ.
Honestly, I don't think I would gain anything from watching that. I get that it's kind of like watching a car crash in slow motion.
Well, it's like a train wreck
it that way, but that's never personally appealed to me. So if that's the only appeal to it, I can't really see myself ever watching it.
Well, I think the biggest reason people got so addicted to it is because people just couldn't believe that these people actually existed. Take Doc Antle, for example, who was fucking a polygamist. Who runs a cult and euthanizes cubs if they're outlive their usefulness. I'm assuming.
Yeah, all these people sound fucking awful.
They're all just horrible, and
I would not recommend it for you.
No.
No.
Oh no! Anybody who any kind of animal rights activist kind of shit like that, no.
I think the filmmakers stumbled upon this insane story. So they knew they had to do something with it. But the way it ended, I don't think everything came together as well as the filmmakers thought it did.
No, of course not. Well, it started out being about the tigers and the battle between animal rights activists, Carol Baskin and shit like that, right? And then it just turned into, oh, okay, why did Carol kill her husband? It's okay. And that whole story is fucked up. And then it turned into, okay, well, Joe's about to try and kill somebody.
No, yeah, the whole show is pretty much who can be the most worst human being.
I think I read an article the other day, I think, saying that Joe's zoo actually has gone over to Carol now, or Carol was given it. They want.
Really?
I think so, because technically it wasn't Joe who owned the zoo; it was his mother or grandmother or something like that, right? It was one of his relatives. And so technically it was owned by her and what's the guy's name? Jeff Lowe.
I think the reason why it was such a big phenomenon was because it came out at the perfect time.
Oh, like everyone's inside.
And yeah.
Well, I was kept hearing things of like this is like the most popular documentary ever created and stuff like that. Like had people saying it was the best documentary, and I was like, it's not the best documentary.
No, I guarantee it's not the best documentary.
It's nowhere near.
There's actually a great video from Quentin Reviews that talks about Tiger King that I'd highly recommend. Because I got 2 episodes in and then I stopped because I just couldn't handle the arrogance and stupidity of everybody.
Yeah. Well, and it's not even just that. Like you literally have someone on the show, one of Joe's husbands. You don't see him kill himself, but you hear the shot.
Oh yeah, it shows.
He's
like a live reaction.
Yeah,
I watched.
Yeah, he's hidden behind the bookcase or whatever, and you see the reaction of his friend who's just sitting there talking to him, and he's like, "Oh, it's not loaded. See, look, boom."
Yeah, this is not for me. Do you guys recommend it?
No.
Okay. Well,
as opposed to fucking 6 months ago, everyone's like, "Yeah, watch Tiger King."
It wasn't 6 months.
It's great, or whatever the fucking time. It should have been.
It feels like 6 months ago.
Quarantine's a real bitch,
isn't it though?
But yeah,
every year.
Fuck Tiger King. It sucks. I hate it.
All right, my go. I want to talk about Driveways real quick.
Okay.
So Driveways might be my favorite movie so far this year. It's either that or Color Out of Space, I think. It was pretty unheralded, I think. It's directed by Anthony Ahn, who I think has only directed one indie movie before. And it stars Hong Chow and Brian Dennehy. I think this is one of his last roles before he died. And Hong Chow plays a woman who takes her son to her sister's place in Michigan, and to clear it out after she died, because her sister was a hoarder, so they actually need to like stay there for a while and like clean it out. And her son kind of develops a friendship with Brian Dennehy, who's their neighbor. And it's this kind of really quiet. It's a short movie, and it's this really quiet, kind of touching movie about basically death, essentially, or rather grieving and remembering those who have passed. But it's juxtaposed between it also has this kind of juxtaposition between Brian Dennehy and Hong Chow's son, who's played by Lucas J. And everybody's great in the movie. Like Hong Chow is fucking brilliant. Like we just talked about her in the Watchmen episode because she played Lady True in the TV series. And before that, she was in Downsizing, which I heard was bad.
Yeah, I can confirm Downsizing is terrible, and I love Alexander Payne. So
yeah, but she's the best part about she's the best part about the movie. Okay, well that I'll take that. But yeah, she rules in the movie. Brian Dennehy is fucking great. Like a lot, there's parts of this movie that like came very close to like just they made me pretty emotional. Like especially anything related to Brian Dennehy. But yeah, I highly recommend it. It is also on Hoopla if you have access to that. So I would recommend it. It's only like an hour and 23 minutes. It doesn't sound like it got a lot of attention because I think it just came out at the Berlin International Film Festival and then Tribeca and then kind of went under the radar. So if you're interested, like I highly recommend it. Yeah, Corbin, you're up next.
Did you guys see the Lovebirds?
I did.
I did not.
I thought it was like good.
It was good. It was
a good movie.
Probably one of the smartest decisions they made was just putting it straight to Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's something I would have gone to a theater.
That's what I was going to say. It's like the perfect like stay at home, casual, chill Netflix movie.
Yeah, I binged a lot of movies over the last weekend, and one of them was Sonic, another one was The Lovebirds, and it just kind of felt like this perfect weekend of like, oh, it's a rainy Saturday, I'm going to watch this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, you know what? This was fine. Like, this isn't something I would race to a theater to go see, but it's on Netflix. It's really cute. It's super fun.
Kumail
Nanjiani is great.
Kumail Nanjiani and Issa Rae, their chemistry is so good.
I need to watch Insecure, and I think the show, or sorry, not the show, the movie really, really makes me want to watch it because I really liked Issa Rae in this.
Mm-hmm. She was hilarious.
She's so fucking funny. Holy shit. And their chemistry together, like you said, is just really, really, really wonderful. I think one of my favorite parts about it is that the movie really, like, as accurately as a crappy Hollywood rom-com kind of can, depict what a relationship falling apart would look like.
I totally agree.
Mhm.
And the director, I think his name is Michael Showalter.
Yes, he directed The Big Short, or not The Big Short, The Big Sick.
Yeah, The Big Sick. He really knows how relationships work.
Oh, absolutely.
And, like, the intricacies with them.
Yeah, there's a lot of heart and humanity in both of those films. I like The Big Sick more.
Yeah, so do I.
I think The Lovebirds is like just a nice little rom-com that really pleasantly surprised me.
Mm-hmm. People didn't like the Eyes Wide Shut sequence. I thought it was so funny.
It's just dumb. Who didn't like it? Film Twitter?
Film Twitter did not like it.
Because we take our opinions from film Twitter.
Surprise,
Film Twitter,
surprise.
folks.
The orgy on stage.
Oh my god.
Wait. What?
Fucking excuse me?
There's a scene where Kumail
Yeah.
Nanjiani and Issa Rae go to this like weird cult meeting, and a bunch of people get summoned to the stage, and they all just start fucking. And it's just
I should watch this.
Yeah, I mean, I think I might watch this.
It's a fun movie.
Yeah, no, like I mean, that aside, it's a super fun movie. Like even that scene's fucking great.
Mm-hmm.
There's some really great lines. It's like I said, the performances are really good. The chemistry's great.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a nice little movie.
Mm-hmm.
Well, very nice.
Made me smile. Recommend it.
Yep.
No.
Made me happy watching it. I recommend it too.
Yeah.
Okay. Chris, I believe you're up next.
Okay. Okay. If I don't bring it up now, I know you're going to bring it up. So, Stefan, earlier I mentioned that there was another movie that I'm kind of rivaling for my favorite of the year so far.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yep.
That would be Gretel and Hansel.
Oh, fuck, it's so good.
So, another fun story.
Is this the one where with fucking Jeremy Renner?
No, this isn't Hansel and Gretel
no.
Witch Hunters.
That came out years ago and is also awful.
hey, shut the fuck
That's
up.
that's what I was saying. I was like, you thought that was good, Chris? Fuck me.
No,
okay.
No, actually, I'm a huge fan of Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters. Fuck off.
Oh my god, why though?
Shut up. Let me have my guilty pleasures. Let me have this.
No.
It's fine.
All right, Chris, talk about Gretel and Hansel.
All right, so Gretel and Hansel is a movie directed by Oz Perkins and stars, I think it's Sophia Lillis. She was in both of the It movies.
She was. I forget her character's name. The girl in the It
Beverly.
movies. Yeah, Bev.
Oh yeah.
And basically, Gretel and Hansel is a really short. Actually, it's like 87 minutes long, but it's a dark, atmospheric, really creepy, kind of surreal, and at points super grotesque take on Hansel and Gretel.
Mm-hmm.
And I fucking loved every second of it.
Yeah,
like I've never like immediately recommended a movie to Stefan so hard and so quickly in my life.
Oh, it was right up my alley.
Oh yeah,
it's got like a lot of kind of beautiful scenery to it to contrast with the really grotesque shit near the end.
There's some points that really reminded me of like a Terrence Malick movie, especially with like a lot of the gorgeous cinematography with the voiceover narration.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yes. Sophia Lillis is great in it, but I also really like the woman who plays the witch. I'm gonna have to look up her name. Okay. I know she's a South African actress. Alice Cragg.
Yeah,
she's fantastic.
She's fucking wonderful.
There's a lot of commentary, like a lot of the commentary there is based on like kind of the concept of, I don't know, you can't give anything without having to, you can't get anything without having to give something in return.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's a lot of kind of potential commentary on, I picked up some like subtle environmental themes there. Mm-hmm. And references. I thought there was kind of like a hint of commentary on. Well, actually, no, that's not really a hint. It's very much in the forefront. But there's a lot of comments on like the status of women.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I was gonna say that's like the big theme of the movie.
Yeah, and how because a lot of that is like the witch trying to quote unquote empower Sophia Lillis, but it's done by basically turning yourself into a monster.
Mhm.
So I guess in that sense, there's a point to be analyzed there about how like empowering people is good, especially like people who have been traditionally shit upon, but not so much if you're like only empowering them so that they can in turn fuck over others. Yeah, I thought it was a great movie. It's a very short too. It did make back its budget, I think. So I think it did well enough.
Yeah, like
but
it just kind of came out in January, and then it came out on video, and I remembered I'm like, oh shit, I actually kind of wanted to watch that.
Yeah,
and then I just threw it on, and within 10 minutes, I was texting Stefan like, you need to watch this as soon as you can.
Yeah, I saw like the poster for it, like the poster where with Alice Craig like pulling the children's hair out of her mouth. And
yeah, that's the Blu-ray cover too.
Yeah, and I thought, this isn't really something I'm into. And then you texted me like, yeah, you need to watch this. And I just looked at the theatrical poster where it's just like the pyramid house. It's not a candy. Not a candy house in this. It's like an actual house. And I'm like, okay, yeah, this actually looks like something I'd be into. And I was very into it, and I would highly recommend it.
Oh, so would I. Like, if it's not my favorite movie of the year, it's definitely my second favorite movie of the year. I love it so much. And I can't believe I'm saying this. I did actually kind of like Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters, so watch that too. It's really fun if you just kind of shut your brain off.
Yeah, that's true.
Here comes Brandon to judge me.
Oh, you know it.
Okay.
Judge me harder, baby.
Is this on like Hoopla or anything?
You can rent it on iTunes or
yeah.
YouTube.
Unfortunately, I don't think there's like a streaming option. Well, I mean like a non-paid streaming option. Brandon,
I'm gonna pick. Yeah, I'm gonna pick the only movie that is left on this list that I have actually seen. And speaking of movies that you recommend to Stefan right away, The Platform.
Ooh, The Platform's good.
Platform is a fantastic dystopian thriller.
Yeah.
And really touches on themes of like classism, social hierarchies, all that kind of good stuff, survival instincts, like what you're willing to do depending on what level you are. It's so fucking good.
Oh yeah. Like it carries the theme from last year of like movies like Parasite and Knives Out of like being very clearly about class.
Yes.
And it's not a subtle metaphor, but goddamn does it work. It's a lot more gruesome than I expected going in. Like, spoiler alert, not really a spoiler. There is cannibalism.
Yes.
It's
awesome. Multiple times, actually.
Man, sign me the fuck up, dude.
Yeah, it's very grotesque. Someone's face gets shat on.
It's a Capone.
Tom Hardy just bursts in like all syphilitic, like.
Well, I just think it's so cool because like a huge like I think like when it was during the trailer or something like that, like one of the lines is like there are only three kinds of people: those above, those below, and those you're with. Yeah, or something like those lines. And it's very surreal when you kind of think of like if you think about society in that way, right? Like the 1% versus those who are in poverty or stuff like that, right? Because the people who you're living with, like your family, they're all going to be in the same kind of level as you, but like the 1% is going to be up and higher and treating you like shit. Lower class, people who don't have homes or stuff like that, they're going to be a little bit more radical in terms of what they're willing to do to survive.
Yep.
It's very to blast you right in the face with this metaphor, so it's not subtle at all.
But I do like that instead of kind of going the easy and cheap route of saying like, oh, and this is why all humanity is bad and evil.
Yes.
They make it very clear that like it's the fact that they're in this situation themselves, that they're in this kind of sci-fi prison, the fact that that they have to be within the system itself, that like is the fact that's making them act this way. It's not anything intrinsic about people being savage or anything. It's the fact that they're forced to partake in the system. Well,
then as well as like you have obviously like your criminals and stuff in this place, because technically it is a prison, but you also have people like our main character, Gus Singh, I think is his name. What's his name? Goreng. Sorry, Goreng is his name. He voluntarily goes into this prison to get like a degree or something. Like you say, if you stay a year in this place, you get a better life when you come out. So it's like it's really twisted because it's like, oh yeah, this place is so fucked up, but you put yourself in the situation yourself because you volunteered to come here, so it's actually your fault.
Speaking of Goreng, I really like his actor. He's hold on, I want to make sure I know where he's from. He's Spanish. His name's Ivan Massaguet. He's really good in it, and like the rest of the cast is good. Like Zorion Aguilar as like the old guy who he wants first. Antonia San Juan is the woman he meets later, and Emilio Boale Coca, who is the guy he meets near the very end. Like they're all very good. I think that they're all actors based out of Spain. So if you want to get acquainted with them, I highly recommend.
Well, the good thing too, like the ending was actually a big. Can you guys shut the fuck up over there?
What's going on?
Oh, sorry.
I can hear you. Hey, what's going on over there, guys?
Sorry,
Jesus Christ.
We were cracking.
We were cracking our necks and giving ourselves a little bit of a break, and then I got really busy.
No, but like, sorry. So the end of this movie is shut the fuck up, Chris. It's not like the whole situation isn't really solved at the end of this film. Like eventually you get to the spoiler alert, I guess, by the way, you find out that there's this woman who follows the lift of food down all the way looking for a child that she apparently has had, even though everyone claims there's no children in here. That's unethical, all that kind of stuff. Right. And then you get towards the end of the movie and you find this kid and they're on the literal last level possible. And no one's there. And she's like, holy God, a kid has survived down here. And that kid is like, okay, we need to send her back up to the surface. She's going to be the message. She's going to be like, this is not inhumane and kind of stuff like that. And the last scene of the film is her on this platform shooting like a rocket back up into the upper levels, and it ends, cuts to black. And so you never really get the full like, oh well, what happened? Like, what do they think? It's like kind of like how it is now. Like, there's no way for us to see, okay, this is how it's going to work out regardless. Right? You kind of have to take things as they are.
I like movies like this that like just kick you in the face with misery the whole time, and then they end on like a definitive silver lining, even if it's not a definitive silver lining, but a silver lining nonetheless. One last note: the director, because we should shout him out, is Galder Gastelu Rutia, very Basque name, I highly recommend the platform, and it sounds like you do too, Brandon. Yes,
100%, very very good.
I feel like it would make a really good double feature with Snowpiercer.
It would, word. It's like it would make such a good double feature. With
what? I'm down to do that. Like I wouldn't mind having like a full episode on those two.
So that's not a bad idea actually, because like obviously they're not sequels or anything, but they're so thematically similar that like, you could easily do a double feature.
Stefan, you're up.
I am up. All right. What do I want to do?
$20 says the Lodge.
Do you want me to do the Lodge?
I don't care what you do. I just put money down on it just to see if you would do it.
$20 says Bavarium.
That's not where I was leaning. But I don't know if you're gonna.
Well, where were you leaning?
I was gonna say Vivarium.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm okay with that too.
How about I say the Lodge and you do Vivarium? Actually, no. I'll just say Vivarium, and if you want, you can say the Lodge, because I'd rather talk about Vivarium.
Yeah, I'd rather talk about Vivarium.
But Vivarium is.
I won. Give me my $20, bitch.
Eat my ass.
Vivarium is really cool. It's a sci-fi thriller starring Jesse Eisenberg and Imogen Poots, and they're like a young couple who's trying to buy a home, and they wind up trapped in this like suburban hellscape that is just miles of like an endless amount of empty suburban houses. And they can't escape from the neighborhood, so they just stay in their house. And after they stay in that house for a while, they're left with this what looks like a human baby, and they're supposed to raise it. And holy shit, this movie's good.
To me, it felt like a Twilight Zone episode that was centered around how unstable the nuclear family is today.
Yeah, definitely. I also there's also definitely some commentary there about maybe not necessarily capitalism, but maybe how alienated families are feeling nowadays, and how like they're starting to feel less like families and more like, competing rivals or imposters. Like the imposter thing is very hit upon, what with all the cuckoo metaphors, the cuckoo bird. I mean, the ones that like lay their eggs in other birds' nests and their babies like push the other eggs out so that the other birds like feed. Yeah, those ones. A lot of metaphors to that. Like it's not subtle at all about it. And Jesse Eisenberg and Imogen Poots are fucking great in it. As expected. But yeah.
It's also on Hoopla.
It is also on Hoopla. It is free to watch if you have access to Hoopla. So I would highly recommend it.
Oh, I guess we should say that the platform is on Netflix.
Oh yeah, the platform is also on Netflix. If you have Netflix, it's right there.
It's a Netflix original, I think, actually.
I think so too.
Yeah, I think it's a Netflix original.
Yep.
No, you pretty much hit all the points. Like it's such a good little movie. Mm-hmm. I'm really sad that I didn't hear about it until the Red Letter Media episode about it.
Yeah,
but it really piqued my interest. It's like, okay, I kind of want to see where this goes. I disagree with Mike and Jay when they said that it feels too long. I feel like it flowed at a really good pace.
Oh no, it's like an hour and a half. Like it's fine for that length.
Like it's a solid hour and a half. And I think what really makes it work, like, yeah, it's a slow burn, but I think it almost shows just how excruciating this entire process is for the both of them and how you feel like time is really slipping away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like it's kind of this weird, like, because like 90 minutes isn't a very long period of time, which is why you feel that time slipping away. But at the same time, it because of the slow burn, it does make it more like you do start to feel the pain that this couple's going through.
Mm-hmm.
It also gave me a lot of Eraserhead vibes.
You know
That's
what?
my third David Lynch reference today.
At least.
God damn.
But yeah, no, Vivarium absolutely rules. And if you can, I would definitely check it out. And please do, because it kind of went under the radar.
Yeah. I recommended it to Stefan.
Yes. And it debuted at Cannes, actually.
Yes, it did.
Yeah, it's a good one. Corbin.
I'll talk about Emma.
Okay. Oh, I actually really wanted to watch that.
Yeah, the only reason I haven't watched that was because I want to watch that with my girlfriend because she's big into Jane Austen. But
okay.
You think your girlfriend's big into Jane Austen? You should see how much I love Jane Austen.
I love Jane Austen too, bro.
Dude, Northanger Abbey fucking slaps.
I didn't say I didn't like Jane Austen either. I just said there are people who are bigger into Jane Austen. Jane Austen slaps.
Have you read Northanger Abbey?
No.
It's so fucking good. It's this really dope ass satire on Gothic romantic fiction. It's such a good book. I read it for an 18th century literature class in uni.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Emma is kind of like the quintessential modern Jane Austen adaptation.
Oh, good.
So Anya, is it Anya or Anna?
I think it's Anya.
Anya?
I think it's Anya or Anya, yeah.
Anya.
She was in Split.
This is the Oprah Uma moment of the podcast. And only I get that joke.
So Anya Taylor-Joy, she plays the titular Emma. So Emma, her deal is that she loves meddling in other people's love affairs. Yeah. She's trying to like ship everyone, essentially.
Got to make this modern for all those teenagers that listen to the show.
She's trying to ship everyone.
Yeah, use the hip slang.
And because it's a Jane Austen movie at the end, of course, she gets with the guy. But what happens in the middle is the best. At one point, Emma tries to get her license to drive carriages, and she fails her driver's test trying to drive these carriages. And the cinematography is just so luscious, especially in 4K. It will look great on your 4K TV, by the way.
Oh, thanks, Corbin.
Just so everyone knows, because it's a 4K TV.
That he only paid $150 for.
That's cheap.
That is cheap.
But yeah, the cinematography is just absolutely gorgeous. It's kind of like, if I were to describe it, it would be kind of like Sense and Sensibility.
Yeah. Like I've read Emma before, so yeah.
It's kind of like that updated Jane Austen script fit for modern times that like and anybody can relate to. Mm-hmm. Like even like if you don't like Jane Austen, I think there's something for everyone in Emma.
Yeah, I really wanted to watch it. It's just theaters shut down, and then I never got around to watching it. And but I really need to watch it.
I highly recommend it. It's in my top 5 of the year so far.
Oh, nice.
Anya Taylor-Joy probably gives a top 5 performance too.
I like Anya Taylor-Joy. I think she's really good. Really good.
She's so witty and clever in the movie. I recommend it.
Okay, cool. Chris, I believe you have the last pick.
I get last pick. All right. Corbin, Brandon. Brandon, if I were you, I'd deafen your Discord. Corbin, go out for a vape.
Oh no.
We're going to talk about The Lodge.
Yeah, there's a lot of shit, and
we can't talk about The Lodge without spoiling it.
Oh, it's right.
It's one of those.
Oh, so it's one of those. I should leave the room.
Okay, I did want to watch it just to get around to it.
Yeah, go have
The Lodge.
It is on Hoopla if you want to watch it.
Yeah, it's on Hoopla.
Okay, so what did you think? I never got like your overall thoughts on the movie, but I know what you think about like a certain part of it. Spoilers, by the way, we're gonna fucking spoil the shit out of this movie.
Yeah, we are spoiling the shit out of The Lodge.
But let's give our recommendation first. Actually, you first.
I'm going to say middle of the road, and this is coming from someone who liked 90% of the movie up until a certain point.
Yeah,
and I think it's because of how they handle that twist.
Yeah. I'm gonna recommend it, but I'm basically in the same boat as you.
Yeah, like for me, it would be like a hard middle of the road or a light recommendation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
just be. It's a fucking cruel movie.
It's like it's the same directors who did Goodnight Mommy,
a movie I actually haven't seen.
Yeah, I've heard that it's dark as shit, so I'm not necessarily surprised that this ended up being as cruel as it did.
Yeah, I'm not that shocked either. I know people that either love that movie or hate that movie.
Riley Keough is fantastic in this.
She's fucking great. We loved her in Under the Silver Lake last year.
Yes, which you should check out if you haven't, and I know you haven't, so check it out.
Yeah, go watch it. It's great.
Jaden Martell is also really it's like it's kind of hard to know where to start, but
let's quickly go down the performances.
Yeah, I don't know what the girl's name is, but she's also really good. Between Jaden Martell and the girl, they've got some pretty good young actors. Yeah. Richard Armitage isn't in it for that long, but he's pretty good. Alicia Silverstone
is fucking great. She's in it for 5 minutes. She's fucking great.
And she's great. And I do repeat, there are spoilers. And then like that image of her like smoothly pouring herself a glass of wine, putting it on the table, pondering it for a minute, and then smoothly reaching into her purse and shooting herself in the head is probably burnt into my brain forever.
Basically, the lesson you should be getting from this movie overall is that if you can land Alicia Silverstone, you don't fucking divorce her. Period.
That's definitely what they were going for.
Absolutely. Also, Alicia Silverstone.
Is there a reason she doesn't seem to appear in movies anymore? I'm sure she appears in movies, just nothing like huge. I feel like she was a much bigger name for a while.
Well, I mean, she was a huge name in the 90s. I mean, what with Clueless and Batman and Robin, obviously. Blast from the Past. Why do I know the 90s so well? That's embarrassing. I wonder, I don't know if it's because she just stopped getting offers or because she just decided to not retire, but like kind of
scale back,
go under the radar a little bit. Yeah, scale back. Yeah. She was fucking great in Killing of a Sacred Deer too.
Oh fuck, I forgot she was in that. She's so good in that.
She's so fucking good in that movie, dude.
But back to The Lodge, like I think like again, like once the plot like builds up, like it is super fucking good. Like I midway through, I was at the point where like, is this like maybe my favorite movie of the year? Like it's building up to something really fucking cool. And I
guess before we go any further, we should probably just quickly do a quick plot summary, and then we'll go into hard spoilers so people have some level of context. So
okay.
Since this is like 5 minutes in, I'm just going to quickly ruin it for everybody. So after his ex-wife dies, Richard Armitage's character and his new fiance take his 2 kids up to the family lodge for Christmas, and he has to go back home to go to work, but he's going to be back for the holidays. So he's doing this more as a way to get the kids to trust his new fiance. Hilarity ensues.
Yep.
Now we're going to talk about spoilers. So if you haven't seen the movie and you kind of want to, this is a good time to leave. If you have seen it or you kind of want to know what you're getting into, stick around.
throughout like the whole movie, it's kind of ambiguous whether it's all in Riley Keough's head because she's off her meds, or like if there's like something supernatural at play. And then they make it very clear what's going on when they reveal that actually Jaden Martell and his sister have been gaslighting her the whole time.
Yeah.
And I hate to say it retroactively ruins the movie for me because like I really love pretty much everything else about that movie, but that left such a bad taste in my mouth.
I think my biggest problem with it is that it just feels so unnecessarily nasty.
Yeah. No, you
like if it villainized the kids to even some extent, I'd be kind of okay with it.
Yeah.
But the
like,
thing is that it doesn't.
Yeah, like
the movie seems very dangerously neutral.
Yeah, and like I didn't really get the feeling that these were like nasty, mean kids or anything. I just think that they kind of got put in a really bad situation, and like it's a really awkward situation too, which is one of the things that was conveyed so wonderfully. But then they pull this out, and like they should have just left it ambiguous, honestly.
Yeah, honestly, like I think it would have been better if they just left it ambiguous, or if they literally did anything else with it. Like it just feels, like I said, it just feels unnecessarily cruel, and it just feels like this very like the thing is like this is one of those movies that's really hard to talk about without ruining it. We're still talking, Corbin. Okay. I feel like it feels like Corbin just walked in on me masturbating.
Is it safe to come back now?
Nope. Brandon just walked in on us masturbating.
Yeah,
okay.
Let Stefan and I have our private time.
Fine.
No, but audibly hear me bite my lip. Anyway, keep talking.
I mean, honestly, it would be kind of hot. Anyway, I was saying, yeah, no, like I think the biggest thing is that it just feels so unnecessary and cruel. And yeah, I kind of wish they just left it ambiguous because I think it would have made the movie a lot stronger.
I think if you honestly just cut that part out, like this movie is my favorite, like because it doesn't really affect the events after that much. So if you just cut it out, like this is probably my favorite movie of the year. But
oh yeah, like it's exceptional if you cut out that part.
But as it stands, like I think it's fallen out of my top 10 at this point.
Yeah, like it's kind of like for me, I think I gave it like a 3.5. I think I'd give it like a 3.5 out of 5.
Yeah.
If I had to rank it, maybe a 3, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Because like 90% of it is exceptional. It's just that 5 or 10 minutes where they reveal what's going on. It's like, okay, well, that's just stupid.
Yeah.
And shitty and mean-spirited and cruel.
I really hate shitting on this movie because like, seriously, like you take that out, this movie is fucking fantastic.
Oh yeah.
But you leave it in and it just like kind of spoils it so much for me. But yeah, I think we've kind of covered it.
Yeah.
I realized like near the end of like right before we had to break, I realized like we've done like 8 movies and there's like so much more on this list. We're going to have to cut it down if we don't want to be here for another like 3 hours.
Yeah.
So yeah, we didn't do all, but that's
fine.
They'll come up.
We have a year-end episode to do.
We're done for today. We have other stuff we've seen, but you know, it's getting late. We'll keep it in our back pocket for now. It's getting late over here, and this podcast I'm sure is getting pretty long. So we're gonna call it here. Corbin, thank you for joining us agagan.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you for having me on, guys. I hope
always
that
a pleasure having you.
Join again sooner than I did before, because I think
man, it's always
a month since the last time I was on.
Well,
holy shit,
Star Wars, dude.
I mean, in fairness, I did tell Corbin that we've been like kind of looking for excuses to bring him back.
Yeah,
we have.
I appreciate it, guys. It's fun.
Well, we appreciate having you.
Mm-hmm.
And that'll be it for today. Who wants to lead us out?
Okay, go ahead.
Guys.
Actually, no, Brandon.
Yeah, Brandon, you try it. You haven't done it.
Okay. All right. Let's see if I can remember all the fucking
my special little sunflower.
I'm gonna get a lot of this wrong. It's fine. Okay. Thanks for listening, everybody. We are Sequel Decay. You can find us on is it Twitter? Is at Decay Sequel, right?
Yeah. Yep.
At Decay Sequel. You can find us on we're on Google Podcasts, iTunes, Spotify, Anchor, Stitcher. I feel like I'm missing one.
YouTube.
Apple Podcasts, stuff like that. Yeah. Finally, listen to us on any of those platforms. You can any episodes you guys would recommend actually to like people, like if this is like the first episode someone's listening to, what would you guys recommend if someone was to go back?
Watchmen.
Watchmen.
Good call, actually. Yes, good call.
Listen to me get drunk and talk about Lippman and Dewey.
That's it for us, folks. Thanks to you all for listening or YouTube watching, I guess.
Anything else? We're also on Facebook.
On Facebook at Sequel Decay as well on Facebook.
I think that's the only thing you missed. Good job.
We also have a Pornhub channel too.
And actually, technically, we do have a Patreon. If you guys feel like helping us out over here,
throwing some money so I can finance my POG addiction.
We'll have you know that every donation goes straight to the Pornhub community channel.
Wow, we're going to hell.
But yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks, everybody.
Right. Bye.
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 Tell Craig to leave.
Fuck you, Craig. No one wants you here.
You serve one purpose: to eavesdrop.
Don't worry, Craig. I love you, babe.